Hooray! It's Friday!
We made it.
We got to Friday. How exciting. Are you excited, Rambo? Is that why you just played that? So let's go straight to beer can so I can open it.
Beer can,
Beer can, look.
We've got British lager. Well, but even as common as it might sound, it was from Marks and Spencer's.
So do you think British lager? That sounds awful, doesn't it?
Well, I like the fact that they've just made British lager and put it in a can that makes it look like it might be a fancy craft beer. Which Rolo so I sent a picture to my friend Rolo and he just texted me that. So
No, right, yeah. It does look a bit... It looks like the hops, doesn't
and
it?
it also just tastes distinctly like Carling.
We'll find out in a minute now. Look at that. Look at that head. Oh dear. Let's have a go then. Well, it's Friday, isn't it?
It's alright. It's quite nice. Easy to drink.
It's a lager.
Yeah, very easy to drink.
Yeah, it's just a lager. What else do you say?
What else do you say? So we are talking tonight, this evening, about LP covers or album covers or just our favourite album artwork.
Yeah,
People have been sending in some of their favourites already.
Elliot Easton has.
Yeah, we've had some corkers. I'm not entirely sure that they actually are their favourites.
Elliot Easton's one, John Butt. I'm glad you're now 16 or whatever it was, which is a little bit suspect, but we're... Jesus, I want Jesus in me, which is quite a nice one.
Oh, yeah, there's a few good ones like that.
Yeah, there's a few rum ones like that out there, do you know what I mean? So,
but if you haven't already, leave some of yours pictures in the comments, so we can have a look at them and we can read them out. And
shall I do some quick shout-outs?
Usual shout-outs, yeah.
Right, here we go. We've got Graham Parsons, my mum, as always, bless her, Sarah English, Pete Cole, hi guys. Here we go. So we've got Mark Seekins, Andrew Money, Sav, who's finished my boiler. It's very good. Thank you, Sav. Tim Wilson, out there in Newmarket. Tina, always. John Powell, Deborah Clark, and Peter Cole straight in there. Jimi Hendrix, Electric Leyland.
Ladyland.
Yeah, he's put Leyland here.
Leyland?
Yeah, what, Leyland cars? Oh. Yeah, because of all the naked ladies. Well, obviously, yeah. Claire Smith, Paul McGinley, and Mary. My Auntie Mary is finally watching.
So your Uncle Mary then.
My Uncle Mary, but it's Uncle Mick and Auntie Mary and all that sort of stuff. Which,
So anyway,
where are we going?
So LP covers. I believe you've got a bit of history for us.
I was just going to bore you for a second.
History corner with Andrew Lindsay.
History corner. I'm just going to quickly show you this one, because if you're going on to like old LPs, what one we're going to go on, Rambo, so we can see this? Is
alternative,
it? Yeah, that one there. This like that one, like that. Yeah, you just don't catch a lot. So that's the Animals. I showed the Animals straight away because it's a classic kind of LP cover from its time. Band on the front, name. So you couldn't get anything wrong. I mean, what else do you need to know? Do you understand what I'm saying? In the 50s, LPs were designed in the 50s for serious music and for jazz and classical. So I know you might have an Elvis record down there.
I might have.
You might have. Arguably, he would have been one of the first rock and pop kind of LP artists, which is quite a thing. Boring stuff for a minute, if we're going to be on about it. Is the next bit first things? That's the bit. The history is that it's format. It's more of a 50s and 60s thing. What else do you want to know?
No, well,
not a lot, is that?
That's it. That's all there is to know.
Yep. Right. My first. I've got a little bit of things here. I just want to show people, especially as my Aunt Mary's watching. This one is my first LP I ever owned. I nicked this off my dad. My dad doesn't even have the internet, so there's no chance of him ever getting this back. So he's no idea I got it. But if my Aunt Mary's watching, my Aunt Mary brought me, this was my first LP that was actually mine and mine alone, i.e. not stolen from my dad. Let's get this through reflection. It was the Beach Boys all summer long. And I think I was about 7 or 8 when I got that.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? Can you remember yours?
My first LP, which is down here, but I thought we were just talking about the artwork, but it has to be with the constant opinion divider on Mod Shoes Live. Of course, is Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Can you see it bigger on your? Yeah, you can see it bigger on yours.
And this was, but again, I nicked this from my dad. Hey, come on, man. Just look how dramatic it is.
It's a brilliant cover. I mean, what's that on the back? Show us
Nice
the back.
picture of Meatloaf and Jim Steinman.
Oh, right. What are they doing, that poor lady?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, never mind.
But this again was this was nicked from my dad. The first one I actually bought myself. I can't actually remember.
Right.
The first LP I bought myself.
Well, I didn't buy that myself. My Aunt Mary brought me it. My first brought one I spent my own money on was, would you believe, the Jam. I think the Jam sound effects, where I actually had pocket money and I went to a shop and bought it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, mainly with these LPs, because we're going through the list because we obviously as slapdash as we are, we did sort of pre-prepare for this evening, and a lot of Andy's covers all feature photos of the band, So I sort of tried to counteract it with ones that didn't.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I obviously, as you mentioned, went with the first Elvis album.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because it's just
it's fab.
It's just such a striking thing, isn't it? And obviously nicked by the Clash.
Yeah. But I'm reading a Beatles book at the moment, and John Lennon said it's only one of two albums where everything is perfect, and it's one of his favourite albums.
And the thing is with it, even though it's perfect, but it's very much a mishmash of songs.
It is, yeah.
Because you've got some that were recorded with RCA and some that were just basically taken from the Sun sessions and put onto an LP for the first time. So it is quite a mishmash, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And it's only about 24 minutes long or something.
Well, so I was going to save our favourite ones to what we call the second half these days. Yeah. I was going to just zoom through some of these and why I think we should just quickly mention them. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? Right, a couple of them. Let me just... These early ones for me. I'll go with the Luke close-up because we can show it, Rambo. Specials, Madness. I mean, these are... Hold on, let me hold that back out. They're totally iconic. Let me just... Can we go to the second camera, please, instead? Yeah. I mean, Madness album. Look, these are tatty. These are tatty because I've played them so much. Did you know what I mean? This, I think, the Modern World album was more influential probably for its cover than it probably was for the record in between it. You know what I mean? There's some all right songs on it, but Weller and Them, that's just so of its time. It's brilliant. This one I particularly love. I don't know if you can see, Luke. This is the Rolling Stones. I got this off my Aunt Mary. But I always loved Brian Jones's Collar there. You know what I mean? And I think when you were saying about covers and people's on them, that's why I like them, because I liked the fact that so many of these records, and I will just zoom through them, a lot of them do tend to have the band on them. And when in those days when I was first getting into music, you couldn't. The LP cover, that it was the fashion as much as the music. I love that because of what they're wearing. Do you understand what I mean? It's kind of, and I know what you're saying about art, but to me, I love the fact that that's an old guitar. I love the fact that they're using authentic equipment. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and that had to get in there, didn't it? And have you ever seen the one that's nicked from that? If you see the Spencer Davis album cover, it's exactly the same. You know what I mean? So they've nicked it and stuff like that. And I showed this one because I just love the idea of this particular one. It looks like they've broken into a house look, a derelict house that's got people, and they've just spray painted there, look. And so, it's ingenuity. But anyway.
Got to be done.
Yeah, anyway.
So,
go on.
You got more to show, have you?
Yeah, I just quickly, because I think some of this is important. That's all band stuff. But what a lot of us have is when you've got the problem where you don't have a picture of the artist. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the famous Diana Ross one. You don't need to see Diana Ross to know that's Diana Ross. Does that make sense?
Because it says it there.
Yeah, I know that, but you understand. Shut up. Anyway, and the Motown ones, which are fabulous, that you're not going to see on that screen, so it's going to shine. Yeah, you're not going to see that. And the Motown ones.
The Motown Chartbusters was one of my first, but not on an LP. I had it on a cassette.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it your granddad's? Was it that one?
This one, yeah.
Yeah, loads of people have got that one. And they're fab covers, aren't they? There's just something. They're so colourful and lovely. I don't know why I got that Action one. Again, I think I just got these two because it's one of those where probably at the time there wasn't too many pictures of them, so they just kind of did differently. But that's what I wanted to show, mate. That's it, really.
Well, it's always worth showing.
Yeah.
Great clip. So I think we're going to go to a quick advert from our friend Tom. He's doing one every show now. How many more has he got?
Soon be Christmas, won't it?
and then we'll be back with our actual favourites.
Yeah, go for it.
Hi there, I'm Tom Hoy, and this is a mini review for Mod Shoes, and these are the Daytons. The Daytons are a lovely 60s style jumbo cord shoe. The shape is really authentic to the 60s, they can be dressed up or down, and they're really, really versatile. They're great for all seasons, not particularly for the rain, but they look great in the sun. I wanted some of these for ages, and when I got them in person, I thought they looked even better. I absolutely love these, and they're probably one of my favourite pairs of shoes I own. A lovely thick jumbo cord on the top, a rubber sole, and some nice thick laces which are a nice contrast against the jumbo cord. Straight away, these remind me of something George Harrison of the Beatles would have worn. I can imagine him wearing those, and they really evoke that kind of rubber sole style, no pun intended. These were actually made for and named after Matthew Deaton of Mother Earth, who also played with Paul Weller and even Oasis. He had a pair just like this, and Mod Shoes recreated them. These are really, really versatile, more so than you think. They can be dressed up or down. They'll go with what I'm wearing right now, and this jackpot shirt from 66 Clothing of Mod Shoes, a trucker jacket. It just looks like a great look. In terms of the fit, this is quite a long shoe. I normally go from kind of 6.5 to a 7. In these, I took a size down, a size 6 just to be safe, and the fit is absolutely perfect.
And we're back. Thank you, Tom, for doing yet another review, the Dayton shoes, which I've got on my feet, and you've got a variation on your feet as well.
A variation of.
They are. Loved them. Ever since we did them during May last year, they've been your favourite shoes, haven't they?
Yeah, so comfy.
Yeah, they're lovely. Let's do some shout-outs to everyone. Terry Grant mentioned earlier, obviously, Peter Blake, who did the Sgt. Pepper one. I mean, arguably, that and Revolver, iconic records, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? For obvious reasons. Hi all, I love Rumours cover by Fleetwood Mac. That's Gemma.
The one with with his balls dangling down between his legs.
Is that what it is? Francis Hughes, Darren Carroll is watching. You managed to catch us tonight, Darren. Tina watched a great album too. Mary, what we got here? Deborah, Led Zeppelin 3, great cover. What one was Led Zeppelin 3? Is that the one with the Zeppelin bursting? I can't remember. Is that album on Capitol? No, it isn't. Special Selector, yeah, we did that. The Black album by Prince, simply a black cover with no labels on the record, simply slightly thicker than normal. If you play it in reverse, there's also a message from Prince, but sounds quite demonic.
Demonic.
That's the word. Yeah, who we got here? Yes, lad, I know. The Who My Generation, we might have that later. What we got here? God, there's so many. Teardrop Explodes, Kilimanjaro with a stripy horse. I don't know that one.
Isn't that a zebra?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Who and Lee Dare? Do you know that one? That's the... Isn't that got the girls on it? Oh, I can't remember now. Who else we got? Blondie's Parallel Lines. Yeah, it's a good one. Who else we got here? For me, it's the iconic Mods Mayday 79 with Robert Lee on the front. We know Robert, and that is a classic. Do you know the record I'm on about? He's sitting on a 150 Super.
Right.
And he's a mate of Mod Shoes and a customer and a good lad. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah. So now you're going to show us some of your favourite ones and explain why they're your favourite ones.
Well, I've got... The problem is I've got, as you know, thousands of records. But let's zoom through my favourites. Well, I'm going to do 2 because I've got 4.
That figures.
But I'm going to do them together, right? Okay. The Jam. Brilliant LP. Being a young lad, like probably a lot of people watching this, looking at this cover, the fact it's called All Mod Cons, the fact it's got mod in the title was fabulous. Foxton's wearing a white jacket. He's got the Jam shoes on at the bottom there. Weller's playing Monkey Boots, blue stay press. That's fab in itself.
And they're advocates for social distancing before it was even needed.
Yes, yeah. Obviously, what was coming in the future, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't like you. Never mind, let's not get into that. And on the back's got the guitars. But what was brilliant about this particular one was the inner, and I've got a real thing about inners. I think they apparently, Dennis Monday, I've seen him do a talk about the Jam, and he had to really push to get this inner sleeve made. They didn't want to do it. Polydor wanted to put it out as cheaply as possible, and it really had some pushing to get that made. But that was just, when you're 12 or 13, it was amazing. Which neatly brings us on to the Snap one. Now, Snap's not, I don't know, it's not the best looking cover. It's a classic greatest hits, all that sort of stuff. But that shot, to me, as kids of my age, was absolutely amazing. Do you know what I mean? It was, and the fact that we're wearing bowling shoes and that we sell most of this stuff. You know, it's cool. I spent most of my 13 or 14 years of age desperately walking around with a Crombie with that on and trying to look like Bruce Foxton. What, you know. Next one. Well, do you want to do one of yours?
No,
and
go
then come
on.
back
You go for it.
Yeah. Last, and then these two, which is the Small Faces. Let me do that so you can see it. The Small Faces first album and the My Generation album, both from the 60s, but both very, very, very similar in a lot of respects. Because if you look at, can you hold that one for me? If you look at them, they're both stamping that they're a mod band. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. If you look at like some of the other bands, especially the R&B bands, they're always sort of scruffy. Pop bands look like pop bands. They look like proper bands to me. Do you understand what I mean? And this is just so iconic. The Union Jack thing here, Moon's white jacket, you know, with this, everything is perfect about that in my eyes. And the music contained is brilliant. And it's such an image.
Yeah.
It's just such an image. Closely followed by like the Small Faces. I wanted my hair like that so desperately. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have wanted that if he hadn't have been Kenny on the front of that.
Yeah.
There, and that lovely jacket. It's just great.
Yeah,
So
I suppose you know.
Do you see what I mean?
The days pre-internet.
Well, it was, wasn't it?
Only really having that to go off, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's cover art for me in my generation, I imagine. You used to pore over it. I mean, we would do sad things like you get the record out, and you'd look and see what it said in there, you know, because you did. Anyway, mate, that's enough of me.
That's enough of you.
Yeah.
So
just.
Well, obviously, I've shown the Elvis one and Opinion Divider Meatloaf. So I've gone like I said, because it's not to say that I don't like LP covers that have pictures of the band on at all. I just went, because the majority of yours did, I went for ones that didn't.
Yeah.
Because I like the artwork as well. So I've gone, first of all, Go For It, Stiff Little Fingers.
It's a brilliant cover.
Yeah, it's just, and it was a toss-up between that or Nobody's Heroes, which is just the barcode.
Yeah.
Because I like the fact that on that you tilt it and it says Nobody's Heroes, but it's not immediately apparent. But I just love that. It's just, I don't know which camera we're in, but it's just
go on that one.
It's just really a striking imagery and a fantastic album as well.
Yeah.
Secondly, I went a bit more simple with this one, but this is my all-time favourite album.
Not Meatloaf?
Not Meatloaf. American Idiot by Green Day. And it's quite a simple artwork, but striking at the same time. And the whole thing's based around the heart like a hand grenade.
Yeah.
Just based around one lyric from one song.
Yeah.
And then has gone, Billy Joe, the singer of Green Day, and he's very much like that with the concept and all that kind of stuff.
I get the impression with that album, I don't think they're that cynical, but that they knew that album would look like that. They knew that album would look like that, and I don't think they would have done it as a cynical ploy, but they knew that would look great on a T-shirt as well.
Oh, probably. And and on the tour to go with it, it's all over the backdrop of the stage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good album, isn't it?
That's pretty my favourite. And then
you didn't actually grab that back off me. Yeah.
Mixed off. And lastly, I was going to go for Nevermind, but it's borderline noncery, isn't it? With the sort of naked baby on the front of it. So I went for Nirvana's In Utero instead. And why I like it is because of how it was created, with sort of Kurt Cobain laying all the parts out, like on his living room floor, and sort of phoning up, showing it in this one, phoning up and a photographer friend of his was like in the middle of the night and being like, right, I've got it.
Right.
Get your ass around here now and take a picture of this. And so he was just literally laying there on his bedroom floor, like the sort of, but they have them obviously in science museums and stuff, the sort of clear mannequins to show the human body. But I just love that.
Okay.
And again, a brilliant album.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So what makes a great film, Bob? I mean, if you had to, I mean, you've got your three favourites there. I mean, is it when you look at the cover? I mean, this is something I'm going to rattle. Where is it? As you know, we've got lots of new stuff coming out with Mod Shoes, and if we are doing a little bit of a kind of PR thing for me, recently I've got new clothes coming out, more of this kind of thing, and when I look at like the Beach Boys album covers, that just looks like another world. Do you understand what I mean? These come out in 1962. I think this one is the same. And if you look at that, I can't imagine if you was in England at the time how that must have looked to see that. You know, I love the idea. It just full of optimism. The music itself just sounds sunny. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. And I think of all of these LPs that we've got round here, it's always a case that the music fits the LP cover.
Yeah.
A classic album is not just because the music contained; it has to have classic music inside as well. Does it? Do you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. And the Beach Boys, which I'm really getting into at the moment, we've got lots of stuff coming out, which you've seen bits and pieces coming through. But that's why I'm kind of getting into the Beach Boys look, because I feel at the moment with the pandemic and everything, we need a bit of optimism. And I can't help but feel. I mean, wouldn't you? Who would not like to be doing that right now? Surfing, do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'd probably fall off, but
yeah, but look at that wave. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Enough of that. What are we talking about next week? We're going to talk about our favourite footwear.
We are. I did think that we are a shoe shop and that we probably ought to at least talk about something we sell every now and again. And so you've worn quite a few of our shoes. Yeah. I thought it'd be good to talk about our favourite footwear. So, like, things we've got on now and bits and pieces. So that'd be cool.
That would be good. But it's any more shout-outs before we depart? Lots of
Mod of Our Generation, Ogden's Nutgun Flake, Small Faces. That's a great cover, isn't it? The round cover, yeah. And it was in it. I think it was in a tin when it came out. The Mickey Finn, My Generation Class album cover. Simon James, Hello, Paul Curtis, paid for by Don Ardent, Sharon Osbourne's dad. Yes, of course. Yeah. Pete Cole, John and the Rock and Roll album, where he stood in the club doorway. That's Astrid Kirchner, the lady who was Stu Sutcliffe's bass player. Beatles trivia now. The original Beatles bass player, and arguably where they got their whole look for the Beatles from was from Astrid, and Astrid took that picture. Right. So anyway, yeah. Green Day, Yes Mate, that's my childhood. So you're getting lots of people liking that. Tracy Eldred is watching. Pete Rickwood is watching. Pete Cole, when is the John Lennon shirt coming out? It should be out, where are we now? Mid-March, late March time. So 3 or 4 weeks, I hope. Elliot Easton, the Stones cover is also cool for not having any title printed. That's true. I mean, think about that. He's right. Just look on the front.
It's on the back.
Yeah, Elliot's right. He's right about that one. And that was, I mean, I think they had to fight to get their name. They didn't want their name. You know, that was quite a big thing, you know what I mean, at the time. Anyway, enough rabbiting.
Yeah, well.
It's Friday. It's the weekend.
It is. Have a good one. Make the best of it, as we always do. Have a couple of drinks. We condone that.
Yeah.
and we will see you on Tuesday when we're talking about favourite footwear.
Yep. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything else. Hopefully you enjoyed our little ramblings about LP covers. We'll see you Tuesday to talk about footwear. Bye.
Bye.